So last time we finished creating Gertrude Soloman, and I went out and filled out her character sheet on this fillable character sheet in my Foundry. Looks like we have, everything here. Got her some vows. And today we're going to start working on her easiest vow, which is the monster that made me will pay for his crimes with his life. It's a formidable vow, so it shouldn't take that long. But you never know. So I'm not really going to explain all of how the game works. This isn't really a tutorial, it's more of just a playthrough. But because it's been a while since I've used the game, and there are enough changes in it from like the game that came from Ironsworn, that I might refresh myself as I play. And I might have to research, I might have to go back in and figure some things out as I play, because it has been a while, Now again, this is a copy of the rules for an upcoming release that is different than the one that is currently on drive-thru, and so I have lots of missing art. Layout is mostly in like a preliminary design, so it's not there fully, and I haven't yet made any cheat sheets, so I'll have to do a lot of this scrolling in order to make it work completely. So yeah, if you're familiar with Ironsworn, you'll understand a lot of these moves and a lot of how it works. But there are some unique moves towards it, like Call the Blood, Move Through Time, Heal the Dead. It shouldn't be that far off from what it is. If you don't know anything about Ironsworn, then just follow along and have some fun while we try to get Gertrude where she wants to go. And where she wants to go is to find this monster that made her who she is, what she is now, killed her family, and ruined her life. Now, the setting is 1806 New York City. Which I believe is about 100,000 people, which is huge for that time. And even if my numbers are off, it's still a huge city. It's booming. And we get the sense that there are growing amounts of criminal and street activity, and only in like 2 more decades will the famous, 40 Thieves start coming about. So it's very much like a very powder keg type of environment. So her father being a watchman, the watchmen were fairly new to the city. Having a city watch was fairly new. So she probably knows a lot of the people in the city who were part of that particular group, or at least they know her. And additionally, I don't know how much she's actually seen of the man that murdered her parents, but she probably has a vague description of them. And the best bet she might have is to try to just go figure it out. Now, when you're doing a game like this, starting is usually the hardest part. You don't really know where to go, what to do. The best thing to do is just to figure out what you're doing, decide what it is, describe it, and then if there's a move that fits it, go with that. I think that Gertrude has been a vampire for only like 2 weeks. In that time, she has learned that she has to struggle to maintain this hunger. I don't think she's actually consumed blood, except maybe by accident. I think that she knows she hungers for it. She's to that point now. I think that she has a hope that killing her maker will free her from this curse. And I think that the gifts that she has are innately in her. Like, she just feels that she can do them. She doesn't have to be trained in them. So there's no awkwardness about her using her abilities. They just feel like they've always been there. And 2 weeks after their death, she feels that she is finally ready to go out into the night and figure out what exactly happened and try to track down this guy. I think she's going to go around the section of town where she lived, and she's going to ask the people if they'd ever seen the man before. She's going to talk to old family friends, and I think by this time people know that she is alive, that somehow there was a mistake and that she was not killed, and that the people that brought her to the morgue just missed it. I think there's also some stirrings that maybe she is cursed and bad luck, but we'll see how that goes. And so people don't think that she's the Walking Dead. So she can go around and talk to her friends and go around and talk to the Watchmen and see what is going on with this vague kind of sense of who she's looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and roll Gather Information, which is when you search an area, ask questions, conduct an investigation, or follow tracks. And that's exactly what she's doing. Not following tracks, but just going to everybody she knows in the neighborhood, her neighbors, her old friends, the local watchmen. And she's just asking, hey, I think I know who killed my parents. He looked like this. Do you know who that is? Can you tell me who that is? And she's going to roll. So it is a plus wits roll. I do not have a bond with them or anybody in the community. She was never that entrenched in it. I think she was more like aloof, like just lived in her books in the house more than anything else. So we're going to roll our plus wits. Her wits is 3. She doesn't have a role to play here. That really fits. If she plays angry, she'll come off as angry, and it may distract her from the goal. People might not help her. Yeah, I don't see any of this happening. Huntress. I guess Huntress would happen because that's what she's doing. She's hunting. Yeah, Huntress works because she's hunting. So that's what that does. Is if a novice, I get a +1 on my roll, or I take +1 momentum. I think I'll take the +1 on the roll. So this is a +4. +4. +4 roll. Oh, no. And then I roll my 2d10. I think that's what this one is. Alright. So I have a 5 versus 3 and 8. So it's a weak hit. The information complements your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover. Ask the Oracle if unsure and gain +1 momentum. Alright. Mark that off and get the +1 momentum. Alright, so it's not pay the price. So it's not like the danger's jumping out at me. It just introduces a new danger. I think that her father's old friend, Gregor, takes sympathy on her and tells her to not go looking, that the man she's looking for is protected, that there's a gang that he runs with. And then he says, no, those, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go looking for those, sweetie. You really don't. That man, I think I've seen him with the highbinders down in the sea hole. Bad. They are uppity. They are riotous. There's rumors that they're starting all sorts of trouble. Of course, she says she won't dare go look, but something has to be done. And Gregor takes the information. I'll look into it. I'll run it by the captain. The investigators have to know something. And we'll see what we come up with. You're at your uncle's house, so we'll find you and let you know when we find something. And so she takes that information and immediately, that very night, heads down to the Seahole. Now, that's a horrible name for a bar, but whatever. It's off the top of my head. Maybe it's a nickname. Maybe it's not the real name. We'll see. So I think gathering this information and talking to people, you go door to door until she finally found Gregor on the street, doing his patrols. I think that that took her the better part of a couple hours. So I think it's late into the evening when she finally makes her way down to the Seahole. Now, she's a 16-year-old girl. She's wearing, a dress, that type of thing. She probably doesn't carry much on her. She probably has a knife, like a kitchen knife that's hidden in the folds of her dress. Because I think she knows she's out to do no good, and there's something inside her that makes her want to do no good. I think that's what it is. So she is going to go down to the Seahole, go in, and look for the guy that she's describing to everybody. And I think that is another gather information role. She goes in, she scans the area, looking for it, investigating, checking out everybody's face. She is angry, so she's just doesn't care. She's not gonna bow her eyes to these people. So she's gonna do it. Now angry. Now I'm using angry, right? So I can get a +2 to my roll, or +1 and a +1 momentum. I think I'm going to take the +2 to my roll. So my bonus now is 5. Roll it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Now, 10s on these dice are always failures, but I got 11 versus a 7 and 8, so I got a strong success. I discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn and take +2 momentum. Now, because the last week hit was introducing a new danger, the Seahole here has put her in danger. It has outed her. These people know what she looks like, and she knows that they're looking for somebody, or somebody's watching her. So I'm not negating that by ignoring it right now. I've just kind of logged it that she's in danger, that she's in bigger danger. There's other things working behind the scenes. I'm just gonna put secret danger. So I do that a lot in my games. I log things when it says a new danger as a new sub danger, instead of just throwing somebody at them. And that works better for a more game where you're dealing with more civilization as opposed to out in the wilderness. And I've already established that her maker is the only vampire in this specific area of the city. It's his domain, his territory. So and during the last session, so I don't want to have her jump by people. However, she's a 16-year-old girl in a bar, looking at everybody and gathering information. What does she gather, though? Envision what I learned. What does she learn? She's looking at these people, and they're staring back at her, and she's not backing down because she's just fucking furious. What does she gather? She remembers. She remembers a scar on the guy's hand. He was raising his knife to cut her dad. And she remembers these 3-pronged scar, almost like a trident. It wasn't a scar you would get from accident. And as she's looking at these people, she notices that a couple of them have that same scar, as if it's like a mark or a badge. And that's her strong lead. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mark that as being, you know, a lead here. I'm actually gonna mark the finding the tavern too as one. She's gonna walk over to one of them and has the scar, just straight up, because she's angry and she doesn't lie. She just walks straight up to him, looks at him and says, "I'm looking for somebody. You might know who he is." And the guy's like, "I ain't telling you anything. Especially not someone like so cute as you." And she looks at him, fury in her eyes. She sees the shadows wrap around him and knows that he's not scared. Knows that thinks he's in control. She smells days of unwash on him. The sweat that comes from drinking too much. And she looks at him and says, "You tell me where he is or I'm going to cut you." And then she smiles. And she's trying her hardest to intimidate him because she doesn't know what to do. She just thinks maybe if she talks this hard that he'll back down. Everybody's staring at them. She feels intimidated, but she's not going to let them see that. She's going to roll her anger again because she's letting that go. She is trying to compel through threatening. She is not a very good, but she has +3. She has a 1 iron and she's using her anger, so she has +3. So let's just go ahead and do that. She is literally trying to intimidate this person. Oh, 6. That is a miss. A complete miss on a compel. Oh, paying the price. She is a young woman in a bar, in a tavern, infested by poor men. It says that in their compel, they refuse or make a demand which costs you greatly. Now I could roleplay the price and see what that is, but I think I already know. And that's what this guy says. He says, "Ah, sweetie, I'll tell you what you want if you just come upstairs with me." And he says it in that way like, "Haha, you're so funny. You're gonna stab me. I'll tell you what you want. All you gotta do is come upstairs with me." And she's not gonna go upstairs with him. That's not the type of person she is. She may be lost and she may be young, but she has no interest in doing that. She doesn't think, however, that she can escape all these people staring at her. But she's so angry. And she really needs to know who this is. But she's smart. So I think she's just gonna run. And he's just gonna leave out the front door. The question is, can she leave out the door? She doesn't want to stab him. She just wants to get out of there. She just wants to flee. She's just gonna face danger to get out. Because she is not too happy about this. She has an edge of 2. Yeah. When he goes to grab her, she's just gonna run. And I'm going to use her youth and her edge. She's smaller than them. She's faster than them. She's not drinking. So I'm going to have a 3 on that. And then I'll roll the 2 10s too. Oh no. I am totally not happy for her. No. She goes to run and he grabs her. And he starts laughing. And her friends start laughing. And he starts pulling her across the room. And they all are cheering him on. Like he's got this big prize that he's going to like have. And she starts panicking. Total panicking. But it's panic in like this anger way. And I think her body, her nature sees into it. Her nature like gives her the strength to get out of it. Her body naturally calls the blood. Naturally. So she is struggling, which is iron. She's angry, so she has a 3. I think she's going to call the blood with 2. And call the blood means I can add any amount of bonuses to my roll. And what I do is I subtract that from my control. So I can add 2, I can add 3, I can add 5. It just means I'm more likely to lose control if I do. And get hungry. So I am going to add 2 to that roll. So I have a iron of 1, 3, I have a 5. Roll the dice against the dice. Strong. It's a strong success on, I'm just using battle. Or I could go into combat. I think it's just going to be one roll. So we're just going to do a battle. I did it with iron because we were fighting close. I could have done it with edge because she's speeding, but I just, because she's fast, but I think that him holding her means that she couldn't get away. Yeah, so I get 2 momentum. And I get my objective. She pulls out this knife and with more strength than it looks like she has, she plunges it into the guy's arm. Just plunges it, and blood flies everywhere, and she smells it. Now, because she called the blood, she has to roll Endure Hunger. So, if you're at 0 or above on control, make the Endure Hunger move after this support has ended. So, Endure Hunger. When you face loss of control from calling your blood, suffer a negative control equal to the bonus granted by the blood on the previous move or is appropriate for the situation. If your control is 0, suffer negative momentum, blah, blah, blah. Then roll bonds or control. Now, bonds means, when it says roll bonds, it says to count how many of these boxes here have any numbers in them, and that is bonds. So right now she has a +2 bonds because she doesn't have many bonds. So her control is still +3 because she only spent 2 points. So she has a +3. So we're going to roll with the +3. +3. And then we'll roll the d10s. So I got a 4 versus a 2 and 5. Okay, well at least it's a weak hit, right? I press on. So that blood is coming at her and she just wants it so bad, but she doesn't. She flees. I'm going to have her flee the situation, which is a face danger. I think all these men are extremely mad, and they come at her after she stabs them, and she pauses over the guy screaming on the ground, his blood coming up from his arm and it's dripping on her knife. And they look at her like, oh my God, what just happened? Get her. And somebody even says that, get her! And she flees. She faces danger to leave the place, which will be an edge roll. Yeah, I don't think she gets a bonus this roll. This is not happy for her. That's 7. It's a weak hit. I succeed, but I face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. Suffer 1 momentum. You are tired or hurt, endure 1 harm. You are dispirited or afraid, endure 1 stress. You sacrifice resources. I think she's going to be afraid. She's going to endure stress. And then the endure stress move. My spirit is 4, so I'll just go ahead and roll that. And we'll see how this plays out. Oh. I got a 10, and I got a 10, so I got a weak hit. I press on though. Still, she runs through their hands as they go to grab her and into the night, and it takes her a little bit to shake them, but she's small and she's fast, and she does. But by the time she stops, she is scared. She's scared of what just happened, about her body like surging with power and the lust for blood, and she just huddles in the alley for a little bit, just scared of herself and of the people and what she did, just angrily walking into a bar and demanding from obvious gang members to give up one of their own, and then stabbing one. Stressed, scared, but more scared from the fact that her body made her powerful. Her body let her do that. And then it asked her, almost compelled her to drink the blood. She looks at the blood that's still on her knife and quickly wipes it off on the ground, right in the grass, in a little tuft of grass in an alley. She wipes it off. And she closes her eyes and catches her breath. And then she realizes she has to go back. She has to go back. Somebody's going to go find the guy. They know where he's at. Somebody might go find him. She needs to be able to follow them. And that's it. We'll stop there for the night. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you listen next time.